Welcome to another episode of Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. You got Wayne, Tim, and Ethan in the building. Ethan is on his way. Um, it was a win. I'm feeling good about our defense, especially the fact that we had a lot of backups on our defense and everything else. The offensive run game. Now, mind you, I'm saying all this before everybody say I'm hating or whatever. Let me just finish up. The offensive run game with the number of backs that they have in that backfield, when the offensive coordinator settled down and said, "Listen, we're gonna plow this ball, we're gonna run it down their throat." The Eagles came in. You had a whole series where you had Boston Scott, then you had Swift. I think that could do something. And for real, if you look in the past when we've been to the championship, we've had the running back by committee and we featured the running game. That being said, I don't know if Jalen and the offensive coordinator are on the same page as of yet. And that's part of the problem of not having that preseason when you're running together and you out there and you're running plays and you're running. It's a whole new system. You got a couple new components here and there. They should have been playing more they should have played some in the preseason. But Jalen's still our quarterback. Jalen's a baller. He's a great leader. You know what I'm saying? And he's a smart player. So hopefully we get this stuff turned around. What y'all got so far?
We are a running. I said this last year. We are a running football team. Stop trying to run your quarterback so much, though. My question is this. I'm not sure if Jalen Hurts can play the traditional quarterback role, but he's cool with what he has as far as just drop back, pass. That's not who Jalen Hurts is. Take advantage of Jalen Hurts' strong points, the abilities that you do have with him. The read option helps open up the run game for the running back because of the way the linebackers and ends have to play. Because you got to be alert to Hurts. You have that big offensive line for a reason, and the running game opened up the passing game. 17 for 21. He threw the ball. He threw the ball 21 times, right? Cousins was 31 for 44 for 363 yards and 4 touchdowns. So Jalen is a running quarterback. He's not your traditional quarterback. I think the first couple plays on other stuff they trying to have him in this traditional role. The Vikings had a scheme for him that was working, but the scheme blew apart once they started running that football. Look, and it's not a knock on Hurts. I like him.
No, you don't.
But you cater the offense to his strengths.
Phil W. Go ahead, Tim. I'll answer you later, Phil.
All right. First of all, good games. I said I was gonna get game balls every game, and I forgot to get one last week. So I'm gonna start off with my game ball. My game ball goes to no other than DeAndre Swift. Balled out. I thought the offense was struggling a little bit. I mean, but hats off to Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for the Vikings. I mean, he had a great game plan for Donovan, not for Donovan, for Hurts. What he did was he kept the safety back, he kept everybody back, and he was like, "Listen, you're gonna have to beat us underneath." They dared us to run the ball, so we ran the ball eventually, and then when we ran the ball, we dominated the game. The only reason why we actually struggled toward the end is because we kind of went away from Swift and went more toward Penny, and Penny came in and got huge holding penalty because Donovan. I keep saying Donovan. Hurts actually found AJ in the end zone. That was a big touchdown that was called back because Penny had it called back. But the defensive coordinator for the Vikings, Flores, did a very good job. This wasn't Hurts' best game, but it wasn't his worst game either. He played a solid game. And
by the way, it was a top 5 rushing team last year.
Well, Tim, Tim, what we're not going to allow you to do every game this season when Jalen has a bad game is all of a sudden want to dap up the other team coach. That's not what we going because. And I'm not saying that Jalen stunk, but you did the same. Well, it was Belichick, and you give Belichick weeks to advance. You know what he's gonna come up with. Now you talking about something. I give the other team's coordinator credit because he threw schemes out. At some point, we have an MVP caliber quarterback on and we're going to critique him on the MVP level. He still has to, and that's why I do. But I give Jalen because I still don't believe in his arm strength as being elite top tier. But he brings so much else to the table. But when these teams make adjustments to that, and we've won twice, so
exactly.
But it's not because of him.
It's not in spite of him.
I mean, he threw the interception early. He fumbled last week. He fumbled last week, right? And the defense got it. And the defense got it right back for him.
Defense get props for the whole first half too, man. Like that's not just give DeAndre Swift all this credit because we got 3 turnovers in the first quarter.
Yes,
we had the touchback that they could have went up, and we got the ball back. So defense was huge. I mean, later on.
Wait, real quick, I wanted to answer Phil because he asked me earlier about do I think Jalen can last all season? I do. I think Jalen is a top tier athlete. I think he conditions his body. He works out. Listen, Jalen checks all the boxes except for arm strength. In my opinion,
I don't like him getting taken on hits either. Though, be honest with you. I don't like that.
Well. If they now to your point, Ethan, if they have him sitting out there trying, you don't need Jalen Hurts to run the ball. Be a quarterback. Not saying that he can't run in certain plays and this, that, and other, but for the most part, you have qualified running backs and you have qualified receivers and you have a top tier offensive line. We don't need we needed Jalen to do that earlier on when he didn't have help, but he has help. It's no need for Jalen to run out there and take those hits.
He got two great wide receivers, a great tight end, running back. You don't need your quarterback taking them beatings, man. I wish they would get away from that.
But that might be the game style that he needs to play in order to be in his rhythm. Maybe when he's not running, he doesn't feel in rhythm. So then what do you do with that?
No, he got to find something else to get in rhythm.
Yeah, I agree. And that might not be the case. It could just be because the preseason and it could be the new coordinator. And I'm just saying it could be because it's a new coordinator. Because I know people on here going to say I've always hated on Jalen. I've always hated on his arm strength. And I still feel about the same way about his arm strength. But he brings so many intangibles to the table. He can still be that. I still think he can take us to and win a Super Bowl with Jalen. But like Ethan has always said, is you got to find other things other than you can't just rely on your legs. Like if they're cutting off certain stuff in the passing game, like you got to be able to just do other things. So are we going to, at what point, if it's a struggle, do we blame the offensive coordinator or do we say that our former offensive coordinator was the reason that Jalen was balling as bad as he was, as good as he was?
Well, that's not the case because when a former offensive coordinator, when he didn't have Jalen and he started another quarterback, he stunk it up big time. 2 games. He decided to try to run the same style with the board.
Because that's not that quarterback strength.
But it doesn't matter.
Listen, when you have a quarterback, this is why they got Mariota. This is why they got Mariota, because they can play the similar style. You got to do the Minshew that don't run at all, and you can't force him to play Jalen Hurts style.
But you can't. You trying to get props to that?
You can't force him to play Jalen Hurts style.
Y'all trying to get Shane Steichen.
I didn't give him props. I'm saying at what point do we start discussing that? Whereas though, and guess what? We did the same thing with Carson Wentz. When our old coordinator left and all of a sudden Wentz wasn't looking as good, we started questioning Doug and his offensive play calling, and we was questioning our quarterback. So let's not absolve Jalen of that same critique if it carries on.
Why? Because you saw what Shane did when he got played better. When he had Minshew, we stunk it up. He couldn't run his same plays.
No, we didn't stink it up with Minshew. Minshew had a game or two where he was all right.
No, he didn't. Not last year.
I agree, Big Tom Brown.
We won all our games last year except the 2 that Minshew started, and he stunk badly. But then you see that he was actually a great offensive coordinator because you saw when he went to Jacksonville, he's still a great coach. It was just stunk.
What I don't like is I don't want to say I don't want to sound like I'm hating on Jalen, but if I'm the running back and I get the ball all the way down to the 1, at least give me a shot to at least credit me with the touchdown.
I agree with that a little bit.
At least credit me with the touchdown.
That's their job is to run the ball. If I'm a running back, give me a chance to earn
did all
money.
This work.
Everybody agree with that. Everybody agree with that.
Jalen get in the stat pad with the run.
But that being said, now this is the one thing I will say though, Ethan. That play is bread and butter. If that play works like that,
it is.
Yeah, that play works like that. I can't argue that too much. If it's
It is,
getting that
but
money,
Swift could
to
have
get
had
that
3
money.
TDs. Like, come on, man. I
He
did a
could have,
lot of work.
but we don't know. Swift might have got stuffed at the line too. We know that play with Jalen Hurts works.
How about this? How about you put Swift under center?
Maybe, but we know that with Jalen Hurts, it works. So I'm not mad at them going to that.
That's true.
But I think everybody wanted all the work that he put in on that play, on that drive. You just wanted him to get that touchdown. And when Jalen took it, I was like,
I agree, Starscream.
But I know somebody mentioned who was it? They mentioned that AJ, that little fight that AJ had on the sideline with Jalen, because AJ wanted the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, but why would you do that and we up? And see that same drive, Jalen got sacked and took us out of field goal range, which you know that field goal.
Because he was trying to force it to him.
That field,
you said trying to force it, but
you can't let nobody get in your head for you to make a bad play if you're the leader of the team.
Now, I agree with that a little bit, Ethan. But I also I do agree with I go with Tim on that too. Whereas though, as a receiver, like it can be distracting to him. Whereas though, that's your guy, so you're trying to keep him in the game. That being said, I think the reason why he feels frustrated because he feels like, if you could squeeze it in there, even if they look like they got me covered, squeeze it in that tight coverage, I'll catch it. Because a lot of top tier receivers, guys that feel like they're top tier, guys that are top tier, you squeeze that ball in there. And Jalen's more of the safe quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to his credit, that's why he doesn't have as many turnovers. But when you're that safe quarterback, sometimes you know how it is. If you're a big play receiver, some of them big play receivers want the rock, put it up there, I'll get it. And Jalen just doesn't make a lot of those passes.
You want Josh Allen and want to take all the risks, but to have 3 turnovers in the game and stinking it up.
You live and die with it.
He had to turn Jalen. Listen, if it wasn't for that running game, I don't know what would have happened to us this game. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen had to turn over playing the safe.
Let's not get carried away.
No, but and that here's the thing though. Rashad Penny actually causes a touchdown because we was actually about to. Jalen did throw a touchdown pass to AJ.
If he didn't hold him, he might have got sacked. So
let me tell you something. So then exactly, if it wasn't a hold, then he could have got sacked. So don't tell me then if they throw a touchdown or something, let's stop. I get it. That's your guy.
That was a holding.
That's your guy. It's a lot of ifs. If was a fifth, we'd all be smashed. But tore up, I'll say. But I'm just saying, all I'm saying is you can't keep making the excuses for, and I'm not bashing Hurts because I think that this Eagles team is just that good. I think this roster is that good where you don't have to have your quarterback playing like either Hurts did last year or even how the MVP play. I don't know why.
I got bad news.
What's up?
DeAndre Swift this is the final year of his contract.
Yeah. We know.
I mean, this is the one thing I will give Howie. As of the last few years, Howie
should have locked him up. He should have locked him up before the season started.
You still might can. You know what I'm saying? If stuff turned out a certain way.
He nice. He nice. I like Miles. Miles got the speed, but he
got the toughness with that shifty running. Yes. I agree with you.
If he can stay healthy, that boy nice.
No, I agree.
I don't know. He won't want to get paid. He won't want to get paid. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And ain't nobody trying to pay running backs though. So
they pay Miles.
W just said they really not. Miles. It's like he could give him $25 million, like because which one got Miles got $25 million guaranteed. So that's pretty much the going rate.
Yeah, that's what I said. $25 million. Yeah, I mean, but at what point can you pay everybody? You can't pay everybody. Like somebody just said that AJ want that second contract too. You think AJ ain't gonna want to be paid? Who you gonna look at paying for?
AJ. You gotta pay AJ before you pay Swift.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta pay AJ. And Devontae, how long Devontae been in the league? Has he had his second contract? When is he due?
AJ not up. We just signed AJ last year. You just signed him.
Oh yeah, we did just sign him.
Did we? Okay.
When he got here, that's right.
What about Devontae?
Devontae's
up. He good for 4 years. This is 4th year?
Who, Devontae?
Yeah.
He should be. He's up for an extension at the end
I'm
of the
about to
season.
say he might be around there. How many years he been there? Because didn't he play like what he played 1 year with Carson?
This is third year.
Yeah.
He ain't got the. This is what I say. A Starscream. This is what I say about Josh Allen. Right. Quarterbacks, because Josh Allen has an elite arm. Quarterbacks can I talk?
Go ahead.
Quarterbacks with big arms feel they can take more risks because they feel they can fit the ball in a tighter windows than a quarterback like Hurts. That's why you don't see Hurts take a lot of risks because he doesn't have the arm to get it past the fence.
No, he's just a smarter.
So quarterbacks with big arms.
He is smart. He's smart because he knows that he doesn't have the arm to get it past
he
plays.
He's just smart.
You keep talking about Josh Allen. Josh Allen had like 37 touchdown passes last year. How many Jalen Hurts had?
It doesn't matter. He still got knocked out in the second round.
Mahomes definitely do try to squeeze passes in there and stuff. That's dude's just been dropping it.
Mahomes do that.
Mahomes, all quarterbacks that got them rifle arms take that risk to try to squeeze stuff in there.
Yeah, man, they got.
That's what they do.
They've been doing it. Quarterbacks with the big arm been doing it their whole life. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, so
they feel like they can make every pass, any tight window, and everything. That's how they feel.
Yeah,
just like Carson Wentz, he did that. He worked his way right out the league.
Okay, you can say what you want, but what we're saying is not false. I understand that you Jalen Hurts shield bearer. I understand that, but I just told you that I feel as though we can win a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts because I think that this team, I think they built a very good team around him, and he's a very good, solid quarterback, and he's a great leader on the field. So I do feel as though we do have the things to win, but let's not hype him up and make him like he got this rocket arm that other dudes do. God, he don't.
I like Jalen Hurts smart. He got the intangibles. Do you think Jalen Hurts can be an elite quarterback?
He is an elite quarterback.
I do.
He is.
I mean, what's his name didn't have a strong arm, and he was Drew Brees. Drew Brees ain't have a strong arm. He was an elite quarterback.
Drew Brees was throwing like 40 touchdowns.
But I'm saying he didn't have that strong arm. He was playing in the dome, but I mean the system that they were running. But this goes back to Ethan's point. Drew Brees was running a pass happy system. Can Jalen Hurts run that kind of system? Whereas though he's not, he doesn't have to feature his legs and use his legs to get into the flow.
Right now, Jalen's.
What y'all think about that D line now? Talk about that.
I love the defense as a whole, especially if our starters get back in there to the secondary. But the D line, I love the depth that this Eagles team have is crazy.
It is.
At running back, receiver, at D line, even at secondary, because you see how many guys went down and was hurt, and we got our backups came in was decent, and a lot of that goes to what you said about the D line. Though the D line can make the secondary look good.
I would like to know what's up with Maddox because it seemed like the backfield broke down a little bit after Maddox got hurt because I don't think he came back in the game.
He got hurt from that play when he got hit by his own player, right?
Like some type of shoulder injury.
Yeah,
so that's gonna be concerning. I know we got 10 days off, which is good, so they can rest. But man,
Maddox, I agree, Stokes, but he's a very good player.
Stokes, Russ,
very good player.
No. Wait, ho. Russ had an arm. Let's not now. Russ didn't have no great receivers on it early on and everything.
Russ can get that ball down.
Russ, if you talking about Russell Wilson got a cannon for an arm. Or had. I ain't gonna say I don't know what he got down, but
yeah, I don't know.
Russell Wilson had an arm. He's not his arm wasn't on Drew Brees and Jalen Hurts level.
Was Drew Brees' arm better than
better than
Drew Brees' accuracy? Drew Brees' accuracy and his play recognition and know what the defense is in was second to none.
Oh no! Oh, absolutely. He had all the intangibles, but his arm strength, and that's why I do think Jalen Hurts could still be that kind of guy if he develops that stuff. Because I think he has all these intangibles, and he works hard. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I don't think he's complacent. I think he will continue to try to work hard and better himself. So, and I also think that it got something to do with it that it's a new offensive coordinator, and he got to get on the same page since he ain't been playing in the system.
To me, Maddox is one of the top slot corners in the league.
I agree.
Maddox is a very and how long is what's the name out for? Our starting corner, Bradbury.
Well, no.
Then Boston Scott had a concussion. We might have to look for another running back.
We be all right. Penny will come in and take it. You got Penny, you got Gainwell, you got Swift.
Gainwell out too. He was hurt.
Was he?
Yeah, Gainwell was hurt. Now Boston Scott got a concussion.
See? That's what had and this is I'm about to get on my soapbox a little bit. This is what I've been saying for the last few years when they've been doing this dumb stuff. Ever since they added the extra game and these teams feel like they don't need to play their starters in the preseason, just let them do walkthroughs and stuff like that. Football is a physical sport. You have to have your body conditioned for contact. You don't just walk into a game against other dudes. When you're playing against your own teammates, they not really, especially the way they run practice now.
It's still
no, contact. It's not the same. It is not the same. If you're playing against when you're playing against your teammates, guess what? Your teammates not going to take little extra cheap shots at your quarterback. If they pull, they're going to pull up at the end. They're not doing all that stuff. They're not trying to hurt their own teammates. These other guys, when you go against them, they're trying to destroy you because that's their job.
Listen, what you mean Swift should? Philly team should.
Sure.
I don't even think that's a question. I don't know how in the world Gainwell got running back number one first game.
That had to be off of seniority.
I forget.
No.
Well, Ephraim, you should have been said that about Maddox in here in here. We don't care about you in the comments section. Do your job.
He did say that before about Maddox. He liked Maddox.
He did. He always been big on Maddox.
If the Brian Johnson, if he knew it was going to be a short week, and I think one of y'all said this, then him not playing Swift on that first game. Okay, I kind of agree with that.
No, I don't agree with that at all.
No, because we had that game in hand. I mean, the weather was horrible or something.
I don't agree with that at all.
I don't agree with him making that move, but I do think that could have been their reasoning, and I'm not
understand the rationale behind it.
Swift was running back number one going forward.
What up, Jai?
I don't know what's up with that Kenny Gainwell love. I never thought Kenny Gainwell was really a starting running back in this league. Yeah. He's a change of pace type, catching the ball out the backfield. But as far as
he's never been. I've never looked at him as being a starting running back.
Nah.
It definitely. But see, this
I looked at Boston Scott more of a starting running back than Gainwell.
Boston Scott has never been a starting running back.
I looked at him more as a starting running back.
I don't know why. unless you running against the Giants every game, every season.
BS was having a good game till he got the
BS knocked out.
Justin Jefferson almost destroyed us too in his game.
No, I do like Boston Scott. I like having a multitude of runners that you can keep running out there, especially behind the offensive line that we got. And I'm glad that the coordinator finally looked at it and said, all right, this is what we need to do. But and this is a point that Ethan's been making all season, talking about this Jalen Hurts and this regular pass offense. At some point in the NFL, you're going to have to make passes, and you're going to have to
stop. He made passes all year long. He's been struggling.
He did. No. He absolutely did. But you know what the NFL does? You know what the NFL does?
I'll be the first to admit that he hasn't looked as sharp.
You know what the NFL does?
Say that he hasn't made he
can't. I just said he played outstanding last year, and I do think that he's still good enough for us to win the Super Bowl.
What are you saying?
The point that I'm making is NFL makes adjustments, so he has to as well. Yeah, he has to better himself in certain things. The NFL, when they get the film on you and they know what you like to do, the only thing that the Eagles got that nobody can seem to stop is that quarterback sneak with that offensive line and Jalen Hurts, because his legs is strong as crap. But that being said, teams are going to start designing plays to take away his strengths, and that's when he's going to have to do other things.
Jalen had some good throws tonight.
He did.
He had some good throws. Ephraim said great. I wouldn't say great. He has some good throws tonight. But yeah, somebody mentioned Jalen Carter, man. We might got another
that defensive line.
Donald. We might got
That
another Aaron
defensive line,
Donald.
to the point that you made, that depth on that defensive line is crazy.
The thing is, the
Jalen Carter can
boys
play.
actually making Jordan Davis look like exceptional. Jordan Davis actually balling this year, y'all.
What
Everybody
you mean
keeps
making
talking
look
about Jalen.
exceptional? He could play. He could play too.
They both ballers. That's the
That's what I'm
point.
saying.
They both
Georgia-
beast in the middle.
That's what Georgia Bulldogs. What I'm saying is, everybody keeps talking about Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter's balling, but Jordan Davis looked totally different than he did last year. He's balling.
No, he looked
You
good.
know-
He got hurt.
But
Remember he got hurt last year?
maybe is that because of Jalen Carter been there with him?
If you don't remember
I think he got-
when Jordan Davis, if you remember when Jordan Davis got hurt, remember teams started gashing us up the middle, and when we had to
Yeah.
go sign. That's after Jordan Davis got hurt. We had to
Yeah.
go sign Sue and the other guy.
Oh yeah.
I agree, Brandon. That line is the reason we'll be in every game. Reddick being MIA, I think right now, sometimes you know what it is. And remember, we got a new defensive coordinator too. And I don't think it's about the contract, but you got a new defensive coordinator too. So they also have their own twist on things. And I think that the way the Eagles are, if I have a team like the Eagles that's so stout inside with those D tackles and those good edge rushers, I'm telling them edge rushers, just no matter what, just contain them quarterbacks in the pocket. Them beasts in the middle is going to get there eventually. One of y'all, somebody's going to get there.
I don't think y'all keep talking about new defensive coordinator. They was already here. The scheme,
but they wasn't running the show.
Not the defensive coordinator. We brought him in.
The scheme isn't going to change. Well, the defense.
No, the scheme does.
Offense, the scheme on offense, the scheme isn't really going to change that much.
So you don't think it did? You don't think you just said about how Jalen has to learn to be a quarterback? You don't think that this new coordinator is trying to make him play like a quarterback?
Okay, but when it started falling apart, we went back to the RPOs.
Right, but what I'm saying is, but no matter what, that new coordinator was trying to.
They were design runs. They wasn't RPOs.
Put it this way, right?
They was RPO. They was RPOs.
If you're waiting for your turn to get,
Jalen had the option to keep it.
They was all design run plays.
So Jalen didn't keep it not once on none of them runs. Because he did.
He did.
Yes, he did. He kept one time and ran to the outside.
I agree, Philly T noise.
That was after 8 runs. That was 8 straight runs.
They still were all RPOs. Every run he had the option to keep it.
They was call plays. They was called running plays.
No, they wasn't. No, they wasn't, Tim. No, they wasn't.
But I you know what's funny, Mr. Wayne, when you mentioned Fletcher Cox, it was funny. I looked at a couple of them plays. Fletcher Cox actually was single covered. and actually puts a little bit of pressure on somebody. But that's what I'm saying about that depth on that defensive line. Our defensive line is deep, especially at the I don't know if anybody else has a deeper rotation at tackle, like at that talent that we have in there. So
I mean, come on, if Fletcher the worst.
Exactly. Fletcher basically is like your bench player, dude. He like Brandon. That's what I'm saying. If you got Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham is pretty much like your old heads that's on there to keep the team together and make a play, occasionally big play, and get everybody in check, you're doing pretty good.
CJ wasn't a slot though. CJ did play slot when he was flexible. He's a safety and he can fit into that slot role. I agree with that. I don't know what happened with the CJ Gardner Johnson thing. I wanted to keep him. I liked him.
Yeah.
Good player, feisty.
Did they have the money to keep him? He wanted money, didn't he?
Something happened. He signed a 1-year deal with Detroit. So I'm not sure how much they was off with the dollar amount, but
I mean, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say is Wes Watkins been out too, so we really missing like our third wide receiver as well. Like we down on like 2 wide receivers.
Wes ain't. He out. He out.
He was that deep threat though. He was that threat to run it up.
Now all of a sudden, now
plays a big deal.
Now all of a sudden, Wes Watkins was great,
man.
You take
Devontae Smith can get past the D too. So can AJ. They showed us.
I'm saying, but you're gonna get their number 1 and 2 corners on Devontae and on AJ. But I was saying Quez was that deep threat.
But you're saying about the one or two cornerback. Most teams don't have two outstanding cornerbacks.
But we did.
No. I'm saying most teams don't have 2 outstanding cornerbacks. So even 2 outstanding receivers should make them dudes work.
Matter of fact, I think Dallas do now, right? Then they pick up the or maybe I'm thinking about Miami. Miami has they got Ramsey and somebody else. I know Miami got two solid corners. I think Dallas does too.
Look who's all injured: N'Kobe Dean, Zach Cunningham, James Bradbury, Avonte Maddox, Reed Blankenship, Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis got hurt.
I guess so. Oh, that's why I seen the other safety in there. I ain't see Blankenship. I'm not too. Blankenship had a little coming out party last year where he played well, but I don't think he's a starting safety in this league.
But
so I think
that's why they was willing to let CJ walk. CJ Garner, Garner.
Yeah, Boozilla, you're right. Gilmore and Diggs, yes. Dallas, this is have two good corners. You're right.
Yeah. So I mean, we go. Listen, they got two good corners. We got two good receivers. One our third receiver Quez is solid, and then we got Dallas Goedert. No matter what, the Eagles have weapons, and this is why people are feeling the way that they're feeling about our offense not putting up numbers the way that they should. But that being said, this is how our offense was last year. We went through stretches where it was like we would have big numbers, but then it was like we would have like 1 or 2 quarters where we score big and then do nothing for a couple quarters. So, but that we got to the Super Bowl playing like that, and I think our defense is better than it was last year. So I'm not worried about the team.
I am a little. I'm still worried about the fact that we did give 300 yards to Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins gets yards against us all the time.
Yeah, that's a lot that we gave up. And then remember that Justin Jefferson. That touchdown that actually went to the end zone.
Right, but that's when you had a whole lot of backups in there, and it looked like it was a mismatch. It looked like it was a misunderstanding on the coverage. That's what it looked like.
We got beat by 2 big touchdowns too. I mean, we've been actually applauding the defense, but the backup cornerbacks actually struggled a little bit today.
You could say that, but they also gave us points too, didn't they? And turnovers.
They gave us 7, but they gave up like 21.
And you just saying they gave 7. They got more than 1 turnover. And they came up with some big stops. So
they did.
Let's not act like the defense kept us up. The defense kept us afloat and was carrying the weight in the early part of this game.
The corners struggled.
All right, I hear
they played all right. You're not going to get every play.
And you know what else also happens when our team starts running the ball and we have a bigger enough lead, you start playing that kind of defense where you give up some stuff underneath and this, that, and the other. So I mean, they played the kind of defense that you play. I'm not mad at it. I think the defense played solid. I think the defense was good.
Defense.
Exactly, Philly noise. That's the other thing. When you coming from behind, you put the ball up and you doing a whole bunch of passing. So that's how the nature of the game goes. If you getting blown out, you put numbers up.
Somebody said something earlier. I'll let Ethan get in a minute. Somebody said something earlier, and I agree. Even from last year, our red zone offense is still terrible.
All it is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts running.
I agree. Some creativity, more creativity is needed in the red zone. I will say that, but I'm hearing a lot of Jalen slander, man. Jalen Hurts did his thing tonight. He played very well. Yes, he actually threw some great passes, man. The one he threw to Devontae Smith when he was getting hit under the rest, that joint was on the dime.
You mean when Devontae was wide open?
Either way, he was under the rest. He was still getting hit.
He was wide open. When somebody's wide open, all you got to do is put it within 10 yards of him.
He was getting hit through the ball and it landed.
That wasn't great. That was a good play. It wasn't great.
Great throw. The one that got called back by when I think Swift held somebody. It was a hold that when he threw to AJ Brown in the corner when he scrambled to the right.
That was great throw. Came in.
Okay, yeah, great throw on the run. I mean, pass was on a dime. Yep. He threw a couple nice passes, man. Jalen, I mean, listen, could his arm be stronger and all that? Yeah, but he works for what he got and he do his thing, man. I mean, they played the pass, so that's why we went to the run game. I do think that was a good adjustment by the offensive coordinator to actually run the ball more when they was kind of sitting on the pass, trying to sit on his deep routes and all that kind of stuff like that because they know our receivers can get busy. So he just ran the ball down their throat. It was a very effective game plan at one. We saw when they tried to go one-on-one, when they did try to put more in the box, Jalen picked them apart. I mean, so he did what he's supposed to do. Like every game ain't going to be an air out game and you're going to be throwing for, 250, 350 yards. Some games is going to be you got to run the ball more. And I actually thought it was a great adjustment by the offense coordinator to make that adjustment on the.
It almost felt like his hands was tied because wasn't nothing else working.
And because they were sitting on it. You got to go for it.
But
I mean, he threw for 193, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. I wouldn't say that he had a great game.
I didn't say it a great game. I said he had some great throws in that.
I honestly, I just disagree with you. I don't think that it's necessarily a great throw if somebody's wide open.
No, I said it was a great throw because he was under duress. It's a great throw when you're getting hit when a 250-pound linebacker is coming down on you.
Yeah,
and he actually throw it up. The great part about it was he actually didn't even get to follow through on the throw. He actually got hit when the ball was like right here.
But that's why when somebody's wide open, it's easy. All you just gotta do is put it up there. I'm saying that's why Chip Kelly's offense looked so good at first because dudes was wide open and you would throw it. But when you're not as wide open, it don't work as good.
Now, when you're getting hit, not too many quarterbacks make that throw while they're getting hit. That's a great throw.
In this NFL now, I do think there's a lot of them that make that throw.
No, not that. It's not landed where it landed. It landed on the dime.
With Jalen Hurts, though, he has to be forced to hand that ball off. I know Tim was saying they was design handoffs, but on one of them, he did keep them after we was running a lot. He did keep it and run to the end. So it wasn't all just design handoffs. But right before he started going to Swift full time, it was an RPO where Hurts kept the ball, ran, got like a yard or two, and it was a huge hole for Swift.
That happened. Swift was 175 yards rushing on 28 carries.
Maybe he should have had 200.
Are you listening?
If Jalen would have handed it off to him.
Before we went Swift heavy, right? And I know the play I'm talking because I sent the text at text board. Ephraim respond like he did. It was an RPO where he stuck it in Swift belly, pulled it back, ran, got like a yard, and Swift had a ginormous hole that he would have had. And I was like, did you see that? And I think like the very next couple plays, he gave it to Swift, and it was pretty much the rest of the night.
I mean, that happens sometimes. Sometimes listen, the game is moving so fast. Sometimes you make a good call. Sometimes you don't. Like that happens, and then, you kind of go back to the sideline. They like, yo, you had him on the linebacker. He committing it. They over cheating on you. The safety cheating on you. The defensive end cheating on you. Then give him the ball. And that's what he started doing. And we ran down their throats.
But in the RPO, you're supposed to watch to see if the end cheats out. You hand the ball off.
But I'm saying it's not an exact science. I mean, it's something that you plan for, but it's not always exact. Sometimes the end could fake a cheat and come back in. You know what I'm saying? And then you pull it when you should have kept it. It worked like that.
Hold on, Ethan. To your point, when you look at the stats, Jalen Hurts ran the ball 12 times. There's no need. He ran the ball 12 times for an average of 2.9 yards a carry. When you had DeAndre Swift averaged 6 yards a carry, and Boston Scott averaged 8 yards a carry.
So what are you saying?
At least half of them.
Jalen Hurts don't need to run the ball as much. Hand the ball off.
Was more so he was under
duress.
Hand the ball off. He don't have to run it on them RPOs. You got running backs.
They wasn't design runs. They was more so just trying to get out of.
But do you realize the threat of him running opens it up for Swift and Boston Scott and them? Like that.
The threat of them thrashing him should open it up for him, and he should be getting more than some three. I hear what you're saying, though. I know. I hear what you're saying. You're saying the threat of them is what the threat of him opens it up for them. Then keep handing it off to them.
But sometimes you gotta run it to keep them on.
Don't.
Yes, you do.
If they're not stopping it, keep running it down their throat with them dudes.
But my point is to even keep the defense.
You don't got to do it 12 times.
You don't got to run 12 times.
All the runs wasn't off. First of all, let's stop acting like every run was off of RPO. He had 12 scrambles, but some of the runs was off of a pass play when he actually just decided to run the ball.
Maybe he shouldn't run it off the pass. Maybe that's why AJ was so pissed off.
Trying to come up with every little thing.
That's why AJ was so pissed because he's the receiver and it's a pass play. Throw the ball to me instead of running the ball.
Listen,
But that being
yeah,
said,
okay, AJ, was AJ the same one who got pissed last year and had like 3 bad games in a row?
So what?
Talk about that, AJ. Talk about
Did
that,
he have
AJ
a bad game this game?
Yeah, come on, man. Fine, yeah, good. Hopefully, he'll have 3 more bad games in a row like he did last year.
Let's not act like Jalen never had bad games either.
All
I'm saying is,
you acting like
listen,
mad, he right.
I've already said I think Jalen Hurts deserves to call the offense how he's going to call it and do what he's going to do. But that being said, with that responsibility, it comes with that power that he has to be responsible and make the right calls. He
Yes,
do.
18 for 20.
Did he?
Is he
playing?
Incomplete of 5 passes.
Jalen Hurts playing like MVP? Is he playing like MVP?
He only incompleted 5 passes out of 23 at 193 yards, a touchdown interception, and a W.
Did he play like an MVP?
Ball 23 times is game manager stats.
So what do y'all want then? What do you want?
Sometimes it's doing what you have to do. Now, if he tried to force the ball and throw the ball, y'all, he playing hero ball. But now, when
am I breaking up or is that Ephraim?
Nonsense, game manager. Like, come on, man. What are you trying to say? You do what
I'm
you
trying
have to do.
What I'm trying to say is he does not have to do all that. Like, you have a good enough team. You don't got to be that guy. Like, you don't got to try to force your run. And I don't know if it's him or the coordinator. It could be the coordinator. They don't have to force him when you have all these. That's just like DeAndre Swift should have had more than 2 touches on Sunday.
How am I sounding?
All right.
I agree. Performance.
You do what you have
to adjust.
To do.
You're still a little shaky.
Is that a mic? Unplug that mic.
He snap, crackle, pop.
I don't have a mic in.
First of all, when you got your collar buttoned all the way up to the top and you ain't got no tie in it, you ain't here looking like a light-skinned Steve Urkel up this joint. Why is the collar buttoned all the way up?
You like car?
I ain't like to tell you, sir. Can I sell you some car insurance? That's what you looking like right now.
My swag is different.
Unbutton your top button.
No,
let your neck breathe. Let your neck breathe.
My swag is different than yours, bro. Listen,
that's why you so pale. You choking yourself out. Get some skin color. You loosen up that collar.
I come in all different types, shapes, and sizes. First of all, what kind of pattern you got in your shirt? You want to tell us about shirts? What you got going on? What kind of pattern?
No, it's not a pattern. It's just writing. It's a T-shirt.
Oh, what's that a 4X? That's gonna hang it off you.
Yeah. It's like how you wear your clothes. You know how you wear your jeans and stuff now. When you wear your shorts, with your shorts hanging down to your ankles, thinking you in the 80s. I mean, in the 90s.
I wear mine nice and fitted. But like I was saying,
breathe.
First of all, Jalen Hurts did what he had to do to win the game. Y'all coming up with a million excuses to try to hate on this man. And what he's doing is winning the game. He played with it in the confines of the game. When he had to make big throws, he made big throws. He had a couple huge throws on 3rd down conversion that kept the drive. Even the one where Swift had that long run. Swift had that long run because Jalen completed a huge 3rd down conversion to A.J. Brown for the 1st down. The next play was Swift to the handoff 50 yards to the sideline. So stop hating on him.
I'm not hating on him. Like I say, we can win the Super Bowl with him, but stop trying to make it like every time anything go good, it's because Jalen did because the threat of Jalen made the running back run. I seen Swift making some terrific cutbacks and power moves to the Swift was running all over the place. That wasn't just because of Jalen. He made space at certain times. Like I'm trying to make it like he only ran because Jalen opened it up for him.
Swift is a good back, but do you see the size of some of them holes?
Because the offensive line. Yes, because the offensive line.
Yes, because they also
I could have got 50 yards.
Well, how about
50 yards?
How about them same holes was there and Jalen only averaged like 3 yards a carry?
We all know a quarterback that's mobile opens it up for a run. This is not nothing. This is not rocket science.
That's not true.
This ain't nothing new. A mobile quarterback has always opened it up for his running game, especially when you use the RPO.
So was Mariota opening it up for his running back?
That's the reason why you use the RPO.
Was Mariota opening it up for his running back?
I could have got 50. I could have got 50.
Who was Derrick Henry's quarterback? Was it Mariota?
When he played in college,
Mariota was opening up for Derrick Henry?
He opened it up for a mobile quarter. First of all, Mariota is not Jalen Hurts. That's one. But for two,
he's a mobile quarterback.
Anytime you got a little mobility, yes, you open it up for your running back. Absolutely. When you use the RPO, you always open for your running back. That's why you use the play. You use it for that reason.
All right.
You don't use it for the pass. Use it for the run.
I know the offensive coordinator is taking a lot of slack.
It was literally his second game ever coaching in the NFL.
Right. I really gotta view the game film because I actually seen on, even though Jalen got the first down on one scramble early in the game, I seen it was a blitz and I seen Quez Watkins going across the middle wide open. It is some stuff, some things he gotta tighten up on a little bit, adjusting to the blitz. I remember that bothered him early on last year, but he did come and make some adjustments. So it is some things he does have to bunker down on. He got paid, so he probably he got paid this year, so he could have took a little time off, vacation with his family, enjoyed his money a little bit. But it's time it's time to buckle down and get back to work.
Oh, yeah, so let me ask y'all this. Let me ask you this.
Hold on, I forgot about the pass that he threw to AJ Brown, and AJ Brown got PI'd on. That was another touchdown. This is what I'm saying. Y'all trying to take away throws from this man. AJ Brown got grabbed for real.
That happens to every quarterback.
You know why AJ Brown was mad? I'm gonna tell you why AJ Brown was mad. AJ Brown was mad because Devontae Smith is outshining him.
That's
well, guess what? That's what you know. What? Since you want to talk about certain stuff. How about Jalen Hurts wasn't putting up these passing numbers until he got an AJ Brown out there because he had all these other dudes out there.
Tell you why he's mad though.
So they both build each other up.
I'm just telling you why
let's not get that twisted. But all I'm saying is,
you don't like him, and when you don't like somebody, that makes you mad when he's shining.
I'm telling you why he's mad.
I don't like who.
I don't like who. He was like, why you mad about Jalen? And I was trying to tell you.
No. I'm not saying why Wayne mad. I'm saying
I'm not mad about I'm not mad about Jalen. You know what I'm doing right now? Like I said, last year I came around and I've said it numerous times this year. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback that can win the Super Bowl for us. I honestly believe that because I think he brings a bunch of stuff to the table. Arm strength is just not one of them. But he's smart. He's a leader. I think all that stuff. He's a great runner, and he's a solid passer and a smart guy that can read defenses. I agree with all that stuff. However, he was an MVP. He was top 2 in the MVP running last year. He's not playing like an MVP now, and that's what you gauge people on.
Everything you said.
Was he playing better this year?
However, but.
So is he playing better this year than he was last year, or is he on the same level?
He's 2-2. He was 2-2 last year.
Is he playing better than he was last year, or on the same level?
Has the same record.
Is he playing as good as he did last year?
The team has the same record.
You don't want to answer the question because
as regards week by week, yeah, he probably playing about the same. Look at the stats.
He's not playing about the same.
Look at the stats from the first 2 weeks last year.
He's not playing about.
We're not talking about beginning the season. We talk about how he ended. You shouldn't start the season.
Everybody started the season suspect because nobody played preseason.
But I'm not tripping on him. I agree with you because they don't play him in the preseason, and that's what
nobody's in the preseason.
Okay,
let
me talk because Wayne refuses to be quiet. Look at his stats from last year and then tell me if he's playing the same or not.
You look at him and you tell me.
I mean, you making an argument. You brought it up.
I asked you a question.
And I told you that he probably playing the same. So
you said
if
probably.
You asked the question, you should have an answer then.
You said probably.
If you ask the questions, you should have an answer. How you ask a question and don't got an answer?
Took 5 years to come on here. You should look up the stats already.
No,
and unplug your shirt.
If you ask the question, you should know the answer. This is the force I'm talking about. You ask the question and have no idea what the answer is. That don't even make no sense. This is why this is this.
Well, I'm telling you from the eye test, as y'all like to say at times. The eye test. I don't think that Jalen Hurts is playing the same as well as he did starting last season.
I don't care what you think. What do you know?
I don't feel as though you just said probably you don't know either.
I didn't ask the question. You asked it.
I don't think that he's playing.
Answer if you asked the question.
All right, do you think he's playing on the MVP level right now?
No, not an MVP. No.
That's what he was last year, an MVP level caliber player.
I mean, who is? I agree. That's what I said. Everybody's playing kind of slow. We started the preseason. This is pretty much the first 2 NFL games is preseason games at this point for almost every team. The only team that looked good was Dallas, and that's because New York looked so terrible. That's the only reason. That's the only way. And San Fran looked pretty decent, but I don't even know who they played.
Cleveland looked good too.
Cleveland looked all right. Deshaun Watson looked okay at best. And I like Deshaun Watson, but they only looked okay. And I watched
that boy Nick Chubb's a monster.
He is, but they still only looked okay. Whatchamacallit was playing so bad, Cincinnati kept giving him the ball back. That's the only reason why they even put up so many as much. They only put up like 27 points or something like that because Cincinnati couldn't stay on the field for more than 2 minutes at a time. But
So
Jalen,
then their defense looked good.
Last year,
Minnesota kept giving Eagles the ball.
All right, let me just say this. Last year, Jalen, he had 239 yards passing game 1. And last year, game 2, we played the Vikings, and he had a really good game. He threw for 323 yards.
So he looks worse this year than last year.
They both wins. They both ended in dust.
So, like I said, does he look like he's playing better this year than he did last? No, the same.
I was about to say because he had 3 touchdowns today. He had 2 touchdowns last year, so he's actually playing better.
He had how many touchdowns today?
3.
Oh, what you talking about? Running? You talking about the any running yards down there?
How many passes did he have last year?
Oh man, stop.
He still had he had a pass. The pass for AJ Brown got pass interference if he didn't get PI'd on that play and he catch that ball. How many yards?
So do you count it like if somebody throw an interception and a call get called, you don't count that touchdown if he come and throw a touchdown?
My point is you're saying. I'm telling you, you're saying he didn't play as good, but that pass was a great pass. It was a very catchable ball. If AJ Brown didn't get pass interference, he probably walks into the end zone or at least grabs it and falls to the end zone for a touchdown catch. But this is stuff that you're saying he didn't play great, but that adds another touchdown to his resume and another 40 yards.
I don't think he played great.
Swift might be the best
I think he played very well. He only completed 5 passes. I thought he threw some great passes, some huge clutch passes. I thought he had a very solid game. I wouldn't go as far as say great, but I would say he had a very solid game.
Well, he was looking outstanding to start the season last year.
No, he didn't. The offense kept playing stagnant. You said that yourself last year.
Tim just gave you his numbers. Tim just gave you his numbers.
Our offensive beginning of last year was in spurts, and you know that.
Right. But our spurts was a whole lot bigger. We was putting up like 26 in the quarter and then nothing.
We just scored 34 points against Minnesota.
Yeah, no, the offense didn't. The defense got a whole lot of that.
The defense didn't score not one touchdown. They passed some turnovers, but we still had.
Listen, I like Miles.
Right.
Swift is head and shoulders better than Miles Sanders.
I wouldn't say head and shoulders because we still got to see if Swift could stay healthy too.
That's what I'm talking about as far as the running back. Health. I'm not talking about health. I'm talking about the way he runs.
But that was Miles' biggest problem was health. Because Miles, when he was healthy, when Miles was healthy,
I talked about this already. Miles' biggest problem to me was running hard and running through arm tackles. We talked about this before. And remember last year we said he started running a little harder. Miles didn't run as hard as Swift. He don't have the shiftiness as Swift. He's more of a 0 to 60 type player. He's a one move, get out of there. Swift has great balance. He's shifty. He sees the hole. He changes direction. Swift is a way better running back than Miles.
I have to agree with Ethan. I think he sees his vision a lot better. There's a couple of plays he kept mentioning how the play was supposed to go in one direction and he took it to the other direction. Even that touchdown play it was only like a 3-yard run, but he was supposed to go behind Kelsey, cut to the outside, then he seen the linebacker and cut back inside and got it for the touchdown. Miles would have got tackled in that play. I'm telling you right now.
I agree.
So Swift right now, he's doing his thing. I'm impressed. We definitely found our number 1 running back.
Yeah.
At least
now hopefully he can stay healthy because that is his problem.
All right, y'all. Before we out of here, who getting your game balls?
Swift definitely.
It gotta be Swift. Yeah. It gotta be Swift.
It's between Swift and the O-line. They gotta split that game.
Who gets your game ball, Tim?
I already gave mine already. I said DeAndre Swift gets it.
Oh, okay.
I will say this. I love the battle. I love the battle between Big Play Slay and Justin Jefferson. I love that battle. A couple times, Slay, I mean, he was on top of Justin Jefferson a lot of times. He was catching some great passes, man. Cousins threaded the needle on a couple of them Jones. I don't know how Slay either didn't get the bat down or the interception on at least about 4 or 5 of them passes. But I love seeing that battle. Justin Jefferson is certified. He the real deal. But Slay was doing his thing, man. I was impressed with how the coverage that Slay was playing on him. Especially in today's NFL, it's hard to play D-back. It's probably the hardest position to play outside of quarterback. Cornerback is probably the hardest position to play outside of quarterback in the NFL. Yeah. And Slay was doing his thing. But Justin Jefferson, for the most part, did get the better of it.
JJ had something to prove because remember, Slay pretty much shut him down last year.
Yeah.
Did he even have a catch? He had like a catch or two of that last game. He played Minnesota.
Yeah,
he wanted some redemption.
Game. That was his worst game of his career. He said he spoke highly about this game. He said he had something to prove, and he did well.
That was a good matchup. I like watching that.
We got a lot of time out. We don't play again until next Monday, September 25th.
We got a Monday night game after a Thursday night game.
Yeah, so we don't play again. So we got
time pretty much every week.
Yeah, we got like three
1 o'clock Sunday games.
And that's who we play on Monday night.
Tampa Bay.
That should be an easy W.
We play Tampa Bay Monday night.
That's what I'm about to say. I'm surprised they play that game on a Monday night.
Monday night.
They can't flex that game.
They letting AI do the schedule. I didn't know they just y'all seen the commercial. They kept saying how they put the schedule and the AI does the schedule now. They just put it in the computer and the computer does all the schedule.
I don't believe that because you have to probably tell the AI the teams you want on primetime.
I mean, no, they probably put the schedule together, but the teams, but they probably do the prime time and all them games probably.
Oh, who's playing who and all that, and they'll just say, "All right, this one's prime." And that one. Okay,
yeah,
I can see that's not. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of work for a person to sit down and try to do.
But why would you? I agree with you. Why'd you put Tampa and the Eagles on Monday night? That's kind of it. Ain't like Tom Brady.
Why is Tampa even in the? I guess because people want to see the Eagles. I mean, let's look at it. The Eagles on paper should be the best team in the NFC.
Wait a minute, who did Tampa beat?
I don't know.
Was it Minnesota? Who they beat week 1? No, it wasn't Minnesota. Who they beat? Because they won their first game.
Yeah, they did. I forget who it was. I was watching the highlights on Red Zone too. I can't even remember who they played now. Was it Washington? No, Washington played Arizona.
Washington won. Didn't they win?
Yeah, they played Arizona. Yeah, I can't remember who Tampa played.
The Bears.
Yeah, so I was about to say it was the Vikings. It was the Vikings.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey,
thank you, Star Screen.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell.
Did an hour or two?
Yeah, it's 56 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go sleep. So
me too.
I know. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and share the video. Yeah.
Hey, Wayne.
Peace. Yeah.